All right, it is time for our Cavuto Clash. This is the point in each show, each night, when we try to get you ready for the big issues everyone's going to be talking about and trading on tomorrow. And entering the Clash Coliseum, we have gladiators Ford O'Connell and Christian Dorsey. Gentlemen, welcome. Issue one tonight, and something you'll watch tomorrow, a White House now going rogue. Just a day after proposing a cell phone tax without congressional approval, spending hundreds of millions more on new education programs without so much as a congressional nod. Ford, that's got Republicans saying he's a president. He's not a dictator. What do you say?
That's exactly right. I mean, aside from bypassing Congress and essentially jacking up federal tobacco taxes, he's essentially mindlessly throwing money at a very serious problem. Neil, this race to the top is not a pro-growth educational policy, because unless you can essentially control for bad neighborhoods, chaotic family living, essentially, guess what? Whatever benefits you're going to get from the program are going to go away. So the onus here is really on the people to make this program work. And the way the president's acting right now is more like a dictator than a president.
Christian, if he did it once, I could say, all right, this is an anomaly and all, to bypass Congress on appointments that you think are vital and you got to make. All presidents run into this. But when you start throwing fees, taxes, that sort of thing in there without so much as a congressional nod, now you're in dangerous territory, aren't you?
Well, Neil, first of all, earlier you were accusing the president of not leading, and now he's out there actually trying to do something. Why? Because we have a historically dysfunctional and unproductive Congress.
I said leading.
That can't get anything done.
I didn't say dictating. So, there is a difference.
There really isn't a difference, because the president is one of only two.
These are taxes.
Neil, we're talking about 33 cents a month for 3 years to connect via broadband every child in the United States to the internet.
Be approved.
You should care about what it is, because if we're talking about our country,
everyone's got to write off on it.
No, that's not true, Neil, because we currently have that tax in place that's currently connecting schools. He simply wants to expand it. It can't happen through Congress, so he's trying to explore another way.
Well, how do you know this so-called lockbox to help these schools is going to be any more successful than other endeavors we've taken?
Well, that's exactly right, Neil. It's not going to be any more successful, because essentially we're going to be throwing $75 billion down the drain, and we're going to have no way of recouping the benefits. And not only that, we have this program could lead to actually driving up pre-K prices in the way that the federal
that we don't know. But Christian,
prices.
Are you troubled by the means by which he's going about this? Or are you saying, well, Congress has forced his hand?
Absolutely. This Congress is historically dysfunctional and unproductive. I don't know how you can argue anything other to the contrary. And what the president is seeking to do is to connect classrooms to broadband and to expand universal pre-K. There is nothing uncontroversial about both of those being the ways forward for our children. Those are not controversial educational policies. Those are things that we know to be true and successful all across the country.
So if people dispute how you're going
Christian,
about,
no,
I just want to be careful. If people dispute how you go about paying for these undisputable issues, and we can argue that, you're okay with it.
I'm not okay with it, but you have to understand that the president has tried to work through the legislative vehicle. That has been what he has tried to do.
Okay, I understand. I just want you to remember what Democrats said about President Bush when he unilaterally moved on a lot of things. That was then. It's different now, I guess. But I do want to switch issues, gentlemen. Go tonight to keep a really close eye on tomorrow. Something that could hold back this president should he continue to pursue this Lone Ranger policy in the days, weeks, months, even years ahead. Apparently, it's making him mighty unpopular. His economic approval rating is down 7 points in just the past month to 35%. So, Christian, is he hurting?
He is hurting. He's hurting big time. But I would submit, Neil, the reason is because people want to see the president do more. They elected this president twice to pursue an agenda that a small majority of this country agreed was the right agenda to pursue. They haven't seen him pursue it. So I think this disapproval comes from the fact that they see him as not leading. These efforts are, in effect, going to change that dynamic, and I think will ultimately improve his approval ratings.
I fully disagree with Christian. Essentially, our GDP last quarter was 1.7%. This president has no interest in pursuing a pro-growth economic agenda, from Obamacare to Dodd-Frank to the 17 million stimulus. It's all been a failure. And now he wants to go about pushing down corporate taxes.
Well, Ford, you could argue it's been a failure for years now. This anemic growth has been the case now for, we're 7 years.
7 years, and this president has no interest in pursuing any pro-growth policies going forward. So I don't expect his approval rating to get any better. In fact, I expect it to slip, and unfortunately, that's a problem for a million people.
I hear you, Ford, but Congress's approval ratings are even lower.
Exactly.
Well, Congress may be as popular as a cockroach. That doesn't mean the president's doing a great job, and he's not even proposing anything that even a lot of folks, a lot of Democrats in the Senate are worried about. Where's the Keystone Pipeline? Let's be honest. He's not doing everything he can do, and right now he's creating emotional panic by pinning the tail on the donkey on House Republicans.
All right.
Now, Ford, I will agree with you that the president is not doing everything that he can do, but to argue that it is because of him that his agenda has not been pursued is completely foolhardy.
But you will
admit
that you will say that both sides get some blame, right?
Absolutely.
Christian,
it takes two to tango.
My gladiators, we have found common ground. Thanks, guys, very, very much.